You've been told that you just need more confidence to speak up, to show up, to finally become the version of you that has it all together. You just need a little more confidence. But what if confidence isn't the issue? What if the real problem was lack of self trust? Confidence is often situational, it's tied to outcomes, experiences, results, and self trust is foundational. You need it. And if you don't have it, no amount of confidence will ever stick. Welcome to the Core Happiness Podcast. I'm your host, Casey Banks, a mindset and positive psychology coach. On this podcast, we discuss all things related to creating happiness from within. So let's do it. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're breaking down what's really going on when we feel stuck or unsure, or we're constantly second guessing ourselves, and how to start rebuilding trust with our own inner wisdom. Here's the deep truth. You don't lack confidence. You just have been conditioned to doubt yourself over and over and over again. From a young age, so many of us were taught to second guess our instincts, right? Like, don't be so emotional. Why do you feel this way? Or we've been taught to defer decisions to others. Or we have been taught to value external validation, and we value external input over our own inner knowing. If everyone else is happy with it, then I'm good with it, despite how I feel. And it just causes this persistent self-mistrust loop where we constantly seek outside input before we can act. We override our gut feelings. We feel anxiety and confusion instead of clarity when making decisions. And neuroscience actually does back this up. Our brains crave predictability and safety. We know that. But when we've been taught that our inner world can't be trusted, our interoception, our ability to interpret internal signals, becomes dulled. And what does that mean? It means we don't stop having instincts, but we stop listening to our instincts. And that's the part that needs to change. That's the part that we have to acknowledge to be grounded with clarity. So here are some insights to help rebuild self-trust, even if it feels shaky right now, okay? Insight number one is that you're not indecisive. So for all the people out there who are like, I'm just so indecisive, I wish I had more confidence, I just second guess everything. You're not indecisive. You've just been taught to outsource your decisions. Research shows that people, especially women, experience higher level of decision fatigue, especially in caregiving or leadership roles. And this is due to a constant need to evaluate impact on others. Now, that's not a lack of intelligence or clarity. It's about chronic overthinking from over-responsibility. So what do we do in that situation? We start by noticing how often we look for permission before we make choices. And who do we look to permission from? And then it always helps to build confidence by doing, right? Build self-trust the same way. Build self-trust by doing. So practice micro decisions that you can make daily without consulting anyone else. That is what you pick out to wear, what you're eating, what you watch on TV, listen on a podcast. All of those are micro decisions. Those are decisions where you can trust yourself and you don't have to consult anyone. And then just remind your nervous system. If your nervous system is like, oh, I'm going to make the wrong choice, I'm going to wear the wrong thing, remind yourself that you are safe to choose and it will be okay. It will be okay. You can choose and it will be a safe choice. You'll be all right. This allows you to start to retrain your brain to associate choice with safety and not risk. Now, the second insight is that self-trust is built through interoceptive awareness, not more thinking. And interoception is your ability to detect internal signals like hunger or fluttering in your gut, right? Or a calming breath, or maybe it's tightness in your chest and anxiety. So the more disconnected you are from your body cues, the more that you are going to rely on the logic and approval of other people to make decisions, which again reinforces mistrust. So, one simple practice is to just really get into feeling your body. Get out of your mind and into your body and just ask yourself, what am I feeling physically right now? You don't have to label it, don't judge it. You just ask yourself, what am I feeling? That's it. And especially before you make a decision. This comes up so often when I'm talking to a coaching client and they'll say, I know I need to do X, Y, and Z. I need to do blah, 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 blah. And they're thinking logically. Logically, this makes sense. This is the next right step. But as they're talking, I can see them shrink in on themselves. I can see the light drain from them. Their body language is the complete opposite of this is the next right step. And so I'll say, what's going on with you? What are you feeling? What's happening? Why are you having this physical reaction? And they'll say, like, I know it's the next right thing to do, but I worry about, or I doubt this, or I feel this. Like, your body's talking to you. Don't ignore that. There's a reason. So maybe that's not the next right step. Maybe you need to take stock of what you're feeling and why, and then make a decision. Because the more fluent you become in your internal language, the more you'll start to feel your own truth instead of chasing clarity only in your head. Sometimes we have to get out of our head and into our body because our body is just as trustworthy. It talks to us just as much, if not more, than our brains. The third insight is that self-trust is not the same as self-esteem. Self-trust is the predictability of yourself. Now, according to psychologists, self-trust is not at all about how much you like yourself, right? That's self-esteem. It's about whether you believe that you will act in your own best interest. Can I rely on myself? Do I follow through? Do I listen when I say I need rest or when my body says it needs rest? Like, how often do you rely on yourself? How often do you follow through on things that you need for yourself? So choose one small thing today, just for you, not out of obligation, not out of appearance, not for anybody else, just for you, and honor it. What do you need today? How can you show up for yourself today? Did you follow through for yourself today? That is how the brain starts to rewire itself to build trust. It's through consistency and not pressure. So let's pause here for a second because most people wait for confidence to show up before they take any type of action. But what's important to realize is that confidence is a side effect of self-trust. It is not the starting point. You don't need confidence to move forward. You don't need to feel sure. You just need to feel safe to move. If you feel safe, then you can make a next right step. As long as you trust yourself and know that no matter what I do, I know that I've got me. I'll be okay. That will allow you to move forward. So here's the mindset reframe on this. I trust myself to respond to whatever happens. Then you can move forward, right? I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be present. I just have to try my best. Then I can move forward. Or it can be, I'm rebuilding a relationship with myself, one decision at a time, building that trust up, just as you would with any other relationship that you have in your life. Sometimes when you got into that place of lack of trust, you have to rebuild one decision at a time. But self-trust is what gives you that internal grounding. And we need that in a world that constantly pulls us outward, right? We need to go internal sometimes. We need that introspection. And that allows us to get to a place where we trust ourselves enough. And that trust is where we can speak up even when our voice shakes, or we can say no without guilt. We can start again without shame. We know from our trust, our self-trust, that it's not failure, it's a learned experience, right? I just learned what not to do next time or how to be better next time. That's self-trust. And it's not that confident people don't feel fear. I'm sure that they do. They just know and trust that they can count on themselves to get through it. And that's what we're building here, that quiet power of internal self-trust. So I'm going to leave you with an exercise today that I hope you try. And it's to write yourself a self-loyalty statement. And that statement will start with, when I feel unsure, I will, and then just fill in the blank. When I feel unsure, I will. Examples could be, when I feel unsure, I will pause and check in with my body, see how I feel before reacting or before making a decision. When I feel unsure, I'll remind myself that I have survived hard things before, that I can do hard things. When I feel unsure, I will choose the next right step based on how I feel, even if it's not perfect. One sentence, one anchor. Then read it to yourself every morning for 1 week and let your nervous system feel what it's like to believe in you. If this conversation landed, then the next step is easy. The 5-day core return reset was built for this exact work. It's not about building confidence. It's about restoring inner stability. And inside this reset, you'll learn how to regulate your nervous system so that choices feel grounded. You will learn how to create clarity without relying on anyone else's approval. And this is where self-trust becomes a daily practice, not just a habit. And right now you can access the reset for a limited time. The link is below. So don't wait for confidence. It doesn't work that way. Rebuild the foundation of self-trust underneath it. That's what you need. And if you want more truths like this, like, comment, or subscribe, because this is where we unlearn the noise and we start to return to what's real. Until next time.